Along the East Coast, certain nor'easters are unforgettable. For example, for coastal New England, the Halloween storm of 1991, the so-called perfect storm. Farther south, the March 1993 superstorm is infamous. Now on the West Coast, these storms aren't called nor'easters, but they sometimes pack the wallop of a hurricane. For Washington and Oregon, today is the 60th anniversary of their benchmark storm on October 12, 1962. This storm was energized by the remnant circulation of a Pacific typhoon named Frida, which peaked at Category 3 intensity early in the month. By the 10th, Frida had weakened to a depression in the North Pacific, but then it encountered a potent deep dip in the mid-latitude jet stream and reinvigorated as an extratropical low. It deepened rapidly as it swung around the base of the trough and eventually to a position off the Oregon coast the morning of October 12th, with a pressure of 960 millibars. That's 28.3 inches of mercury. Earlier that day, a Navy ship in the path of the storm reported a 92-mile-per-hour wind gust and a pressure drop of 2/3 of an inch of mercury in 3 hours, an astounding pressure fall. The storm continued north-northeastward offshore, its center eventually coming inland near the southern tip of Vancouver Island. As the storm passed, officials at the World's Fair in Seattle had to evacuate visitors from the brand new Space Needle, which was swaying in the wind. Those winds gusted to 60 miles per hour, more than 100 miles inland, and above 80 miles per hour in many spots in the western quarter of Washington and northern Oregon. Here's some of those maximum gusts. Now, Cape Blanco is right on the coast, while the Nacelle radar station was just inland in the hills of southwest Washington. But Portland and Corvallis are a good 40 to 50 miles inland and somewhat protected by coastal mountains. Some of these gusts occurred before the power or the instruments failed, so the actual winds were probably higher. These wind gusts make this storm a serious contender for the most powerful extratropical cyclone in the U.S. in the last 100 years. It killed 46 people, most from flying debris and falling trees. The wind devastated the region's forests, downing many 1,000-plus-year-old trees. Best estimates are that it blew down more than 1 billion cubic feet of timber, worth $750 million in 1962 dollars, approximately equal to a typical annual timber harvest in Washington and Oregon. Property damage was another $250 million, bringing the total to about $1 billion in 1962 dollars. That's more than the sum of the damage from Audrey, Donna, and Carla, the 3 most expensive hurricanes to hit the U.S. in the 5 years prior to 1962. The Columbus Day storm even affected that year's World Series. Game 6 between the San Francisco Giants and New York Yankees was postponed once by rain ahead of the storm and twice by the storm itself. Willie Mays and the Giants won Game 6, but Mantle, Maris, and the Yankees won that World Series. Stay tuned. Our extended forecast is next.